Yo, what's up, everybody? Welcome to our Terp Talk Tuesday with Mike Canacast. I'm Canada Dave.
And I'm Groovy.
Today we got special guest Stick Radio, old time. You've been on the show multiple times, so it's great to have you back on.
It's been a while, boys.
It has. It's been about probably 2 years now, maybe.
2 years, yeah.
I think the last one we did was cannabis mixing with culture, because we were talking pop movies or movies, how it was playing a factor. And this guy thought Harold and Kumar 2 was better than 1.
I
remember that. I mean, he still says it to this day. I mean,
it is better.
We can't all grow.
Yeah.
You know, it's okay. It's all right.
All right, yeah. Sorry.
But today we got you here because we're going to be talking about sports and cannabis now because we're seeing a lot of things happening within sports, especially like NBA now. Like they don't even drug test. You're allowed to invest now into cannabis businesses. As you see, like you have ex-players, Al Harrington, Allen Iverson. All these guys are getting in the industry. So now you're probably going to have players in the league getting into as well too. So we're gonna get into all that. I'm rushing, but let us know what you're smoking on, how you're dabbing. We got a couple joints here. You already rolled up a blunt, I see.
Yeah, another one.
He's always ready with the blunts, man. We already had a blunt before we started. Like,
But they're not really blunts. Like they're cigarello blunts. So they're small.
Hemp wraps.
Yeah. Sometimes I bring these to I'll smoke at parties. People are like, oh, what is that? And it's just like, this is what the fuck I smoke. Like, relax. Like, they're
Ain't
fine. They
blunts
smoke
that
fine.
bad.
We can roll plenty of them. It's not. I'm not worried about it.
It seems weird that they're hating on your blunt though too. It's like,
yeah.
You always pearl them too. I mean, I always burn really good as well.
That's why I roll them this way. See, I got this theory, right? Philip Morris, this cigarette company.
Yep.
They must have went through how many different sizes of cigarettes before they decided, all right, this one burns the right rate, this one smokes the best, this one hits the best. So I always try to roll it as thick as a cigarette.
Nice. I like that.
That's my theory.
That's a good tip right there.
Because Philip Morris spent the money. Why don't I take the example?
There you go.
He did do a lot of R&D on it.
Yeah, exactly.
You know they did.
You know
they rolled fat ones, and like people were like, "No, these hit too hard." And like they did the market research about how much smoke is optimal for your lungs to take in at a time.
I mean, that's kind of what we've been doing with donuts. The ratio from rosin to flour. Like how much rosin do we want to put in the donut to how much flour is in the donut, and it's hard to get that. And you got to do a lot of R&D, and we don't have as much money as Philip Morris did.
No. So that's my theory. It may be dumb as hell, but that's my theory.
What did you roll up? What strain you got in there?
The first one we smoked was Cheetah Piss. I forget the name of this one.
Nice. No name.
I don't know. I don't care.
Yeah, I
weed.
know.
Weed.
He's like, I got weed.
I got weed and weed.
And then you got me and Grove over here. It's got a little bit of terpene.
Yeah, which live on, beta caryophyllene.
And we're gonna be smoking the Bangarang, which is
I'm excited to try that.
Which is like very, like you said, fruity. It's got that.
Just start off with that one. That's the head buzz. Like that one's nice. Oh, you already lit. Already lit it. He's like, well,
he's quick, man.
Do you too? You two are real quick. I'll sit there and take my time getting things warmed up. And
as soon as it's rolled, it's like spark it. Like that's how it goes for me.
So Dave, let me ask you something. Dave, why did you want to do this topic today? What's up, Danny? What's going on?
This topic, because
sometimes when I pull up videos.
Yeah, no, you're good. I was like, what? This topic, because we're going to be getting into a time where it's going to be soon. We're going to have more than half these states are legal. Canada to the north is legal, and we have major sports teams already in Canada. And I feel like you're seeing, we talked about it recently this year where you had a couple of athletes already test positive for cannabis to lose their medal or their award. And I feel like since the NBA just announced their new collective bargaining agreement like a couple months ago, it's a good time to talk about it. You know? Right. I mean, sports right now you only have baseball, right? And like they just had their first CBD sponsor. I think the Cubs got a CBD sponsor, like the first one in the league to start the year. And you're just starting to see it. And I feel like football players, which we're going to be going into the next sport, football should be able to have the option to use cannabis instead of some pharmaceuticals if they don't want to.
Yeah, no, I mean, and that's the big thing. It should be allowed, especially in the states that it's legal, right? Like I can't necessarily say that like, hey, if you're in the deep south and it's still a state that's not cool with it, like I mean, you're not. It's not. You're not. Yeah, I get it. That's wrong for me to say, but you know what I'm saying, man.
It was mighty presumptuous of you.
Well, no, I just mean like it's been there's a lot of states that down south it has taken a lot of time to get the movement down there. Like thankfully you're seeing some things like Virginia, but then
some that haven't come around on alcohol yet.
Yeah, and that's
dry counties.
I guess what I should say is those old school mentality type of places.
We know
like,
what you mean.
Okay, cool, thanks.
Stick's just giving you a hard time, man.
Always, man. I haven't seen this guy in like a year and a half, and this guy's like, all right, groovy. At least it's not like the last setup. The last setup was a nightmare at Stick's house.
Oh, that was hilarious, man.
It's a different vibe with the studio.
It was about like
2 years to come up.
Yeah.
Appreciate that, man. You're at literally a whole studio. We put up the walls.
It's true. You were one of the first episodes, and it was like
you were our first 420 episode, and then we did a follow up the year after, like right after 420.
Yep, the weed and movies.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, this is sports and cannabis. So, what do you want to talk about first?
I want to probably jump into some athletes because I think if we talk about athletes that have used cannabis, or do you want to start? We can talk about. No, we're gonna talk about the athletes. I'll just talk about where we came from, but I want to talk about some of the
okay,
athletes.
because I was gonna say maybe we start with like where we smoke, like what got like. Did you use weed when you were playing sports? That was kind of like my question.
No, I didn't use weed until after high school, really.
Did you use weed when you were playing sports?
I did not, but lots of kids did.
Did they have any advantage by using cannabis, you think?
I don't think it's. That's why I never thought it should be illegal, because I don't think it gives you an advantage at all.
I would agree with you on that.
Yeah, except maybe, muscle recovery and stuff like that. But I don't think it's a performance enhancer by any stretch of the imagination.
No.
Like, nobody's smoking a blunt and then go hitting 450 bombs. It's not like roids, right? So, I don't think it's an advantage at all. But, some people play better loose, and it helps you relax. So that could be advantage in that way. But I don't think it makes you bigger, stronger, faster, all of that.
Yeah, I would agree with you on that, and that's why when they say it's a performance enhancer, it's like, no, I think what you said is perfect recovery, because like I've been hitting the gym this year, and I think recovery, smoking after is nice. Like I feel so relaxed, the muscles are relaxed. Like I'll have a protein shake and then like smoke a joint. It's just very relaxed, and I feel looser. I'm not always able to smoke right before I work out, but when I do, I still feel just a little loose. I don't feel like I would be able to bench more or lift more because I smoked, But
the most interesting thing to me about the whole thing is the lung capacity, right? Because when you're an athlete at that high of a level, you need that lung capacity to be able to play, to run as fast as you can, as long as you can, and all of that. And you look at a guy like Michael Phelps, swimming, you need to have an insane lung capacity, and that guy's notorious for getting high.
Dude, how many Olympic gold medals does he have? The
Right.
most?
So that's where, to me,
like
that's the
all
really interesting thing of it. Like, not the relaxing, not the high. Like, I get that part of it. I don't get how smoking helps, and, like, the best to ever do it, smoke weed, but still have the lung capacity to kick your ass.
Right, I would agree. I didn't even ever think about that really.
100%. That's
the lungs.
That's what it's.
I don't even think about that. I just think it's not a performance enhancer. But like you do need, like you need that endurance. Like if you're a basketball player, you're running up and down the court, up and down the court, up and down the court. Like you can't be completely out of breath. Like
that's my whole point. Is I think for the longest time, if anything, your coach probably didn't want you smoking because the smoking is bad for your lungs. Like you're saying, that has nothing to do with like weed. That just has to do with your lungs. Your lungs. I want your lungs to be a top shape.
Eat some edibles though. That'd be good. For
right, but I'm saying that's why they were always against weed in general for the longest time with sports. Is because of or just smoking in general. We don't want your players smoking, right? But weed's illegal. I just think I never looked at it as an enhancer. How could you ever? And people, that's how. But like, what you do in your alone time, it's like, alcohol is not an enhancer, right? So like they don't care. You can drink after, right? So what does that have to weed? That's if it was an enhancer, that's the only justification. Other than that, it's all stupid. So
I don't think for the most part, I don't think you're gonna throw a football 85 yards if you smoke weed.
That would be crazy, though.
Wild.
Like, wouldn't that be amazing if weed
sucked.
gave you that type of shit, too?
Could you imagine?
Not only the high, not only that, but all of a sudden you could chuck a football 85 yards because you hit something.
Hire me.
Right.
That would be crazy. Like, this is the best weed right here. There's like one strain that does it.
Right.
There actually is a weed enhancing strain. It becomes illegal. It's like THC A+.
Football kush. But you're not going to be able to baseball, basketball, football, hockey, like all those sports. I just don't think it's going to take you to that Hall of Famer level. I think that comes with work ethic, your grind, and what you're doing, and that will get you to the Hall of Fame level where you want to be able to compete. Unless you're taking roids, and hopefully you don't get caught, because then usually you might outpace some of the other.
Well, that's why it's good that all the leagues are coming around, and they all get it. Like they can keep suspending
NBA,
players
right? NBA
nonstop and all this bullshit where they're piss testing and stuff like that for weed. But yeah, NBA stopped doing it because I mean it's the NBA. Like,
It's funny because like every player's like, yeah, I smoke every time before game.
You think people are gonna start following suit though because of the NBA? Like that's my
of
big
course.
thing. Like, do you think they're gonna be trendsetters?
It's
like,
not only the NBA though; it's like society in general too.
Well, we're
right?
almost
like,
halfway.
Like, why are you penalizing if I live in Detroit and I'm smoking weed, but I play for the Pistons? Like, why would you penalize me for doing something legal?
Right, because there's gonna be consumption lounges soon, so you can literally go to a lounge, smoke weed, just like you go to a bar and grab a beer or whatnot, and it's perfectly legal here.
Yeah,
it's like, come on.
So that's where it gets, and the NBA's not stupid. Like they would look awful, and then if they keep suspending players, that's bad for the league image, anyways.
Yeah.
And it's almost like in the war on drugs won.
100%.
Yeah,
They could only battle it down for so many.
Well, how is
Allen
the war on
Iversons.
drugs gonna win when you still allowed quite a bit of drugs? Like, think about alcohol, think about gambling. There's still tons of vices out there. You can't get. You're never gonna get rid of vices, man.
Especially not
Like,
weed.
Well, and that's why I think it's really weird that like the NHL, all these industries want to like say what you can't do in your off time. And then they said the only thing that made sense to me is because of like their lungs, because of like those situations. Besides that, it's very weird.
Yeah, I mean, so who Ja Moran is, right?
Yep,
The basketball player for Memphis. He was flashing a gun on Instagram, and that's not illegal either. But they suspended him. So that's where
It seems to be more of a PR thing why they're suspending
exactly,
people,
but that's
though.
exactly what weed used to be, and because
Like a
weed
PR
was
issue?
considered because
federal one illegal
because weed was
still.
considered bad, they had to enforce these BS rules. But now that weed's considered
fair.
good, they don't have to do it. But
That's fair. I
Yeah.
didn't think about it like that.
Well, and you
really.
think you have all these athletes, ex-athletes, going into cannabis, talking about cannabis, talking to their other players that are in the league, and they're going
Calvin
on the best.
Johnson,
Yeah.
greatest wide receiver of all time. Him and Rob
Megatron.
Sims. I mean, they are out peddling weed nonstop, and we've been able to have him on and talk to him individually too, and just like his stories about how he wished he would have been able to do that. And I'm sure he was, but he's not going to be like, yeah, I was smoking all throughout the league. I'm sure he was sneaking it on the side. But yeah, that's what he's advocating, just because it helps players so much in that recovery process.
I believe it's huge for recovery, and they should be able to have the
Well,
option.
they have
for
whole
it.
lines now focused on like recovery stuff. I
Primitive,
don't know if it's
yeah.
out yet, but primitive, yeah.
We had Rob Sims on. He was talking
Rob
us about
Sims and Calvin Johnson.
Yep.
And he talked about that stuff. But I just like that's what I just mentioning. But I just like I think it's really crazy that they're making whole lines about it, even though it was illegal. And then now players are coming out saying I use weed while I was playing the whole time. Like there's tons of
Allen
players.
Iverson said like 90% of the league smoked weed when he was in it. 90%. And
That was early 2000s.
yeah,
That's
a pretty large number.
I mean, he went right into cannabis, and he has the what was it? The Iverson.
I don't trust anything with Allen Iverson's name on it.
Dang, what?
I actually smoked okay.
Yeah.
Did it?
It was by
Did it?
Viola. It was by Viola.
Allen Harrington's brand, the other basketball player. So it was like,
So yeah, I mean, more.
but you're seeing it. I mean, think about one
Stab
of
time.
one
Cheers,
of the
everybody out there.
great running backs. Ricky Williams started the Heisman brand. He quit the NFL to go smoke weed. Shout out. We met Ricky at one of the after parties MJ BizCon the first year. Pretty cool dude.
That's a guy who just got life way early. Like he's like, you know what? I'm the best. I'm gonna smoke my weed. You're still gonna draft me. I'm still gonna make millions of dollars. I don't want to play anymore. I'm gonna go smoke weed and like go on adventures. And you know what? When I'm done with my adventures and smoking all my weed, I'm gonna come back and play and still smoke weed.
Fucking
Dude, the guy, legend, absolute legend, Ricky Williams, for doing it his way.
Yup. And then he started the Heisman brand, which he won the Heisman back in college, which is very cool.
Yeah.
Like being able to stick to your
You got
what
Mike
you
Ditka
truly
to wear.
believe in.
He wore a wedding dress on the cover of Sports Illustrated.
Did he really?
Yeah,
Wild individual.
Check that out. That's hilarious.
I'll see if I can pull it up.
I mean, but he believed in what he wanted. Like that's what he wanted to do, was be able to smoke cannabis, play his football, do what he wants and loves to do, and he did it. He did it his way, and I'm all about that. I thought that was pretty cool.
Yeah, there's Ricky Williams in a wedding dress.
Oh shit!
There you go.
There you go. There it is, and that's that. What? Also, like if you did that today, people would freak the hell out too.
Possibly, yeah.
Things change, man.
Dude,
Times change.
It really does. Different worlds, man.
Yeah.
So, wait, what is that? 20 years apart too? Like when was that? Probably.
Yeah, it was like 2000, early 2000s.
Yeah. Crazy with 20 years of
He
difference.
was such a beast.
Dude, he was a monster.
Such a beast.
He was a good football player. He went to New Orleans, then he went to Miami, right?
Yep.
He went to Miami. Yeah. He was.
So like, we talk about like we were just talking about like all this shit. Like you talk about like how much weed is like different now. Like right, like what was weed like when you started like getting into sports? Like what was it looked at like? Because you said it was like earlier, but like what was it looked at like? Like you were like.
For me, I mean, I didn't.
Not as good of an athlete because you smoked weed. Like I didn't play like a lot of team sports. I did like individual sports. Like I did track, I did wrestling. So it's like I didn't really give a shit what anyone else was doing. Right? I didn't have team sports. So, like,
Yeah, I mean, like,
was there like a team
looked at
pack
pot-
mentality?
looked
Like
at potheads
you're
as
letting
not
us chain. Like, you're the weak
athletes.
chain. You know, I was curious.
I don't know if it's the weak chain or anything like that, but I mean, you did have people that did smoke in high school. I did not play when I
That's
was
what
in
I'm
high
asking,
school, so
like-
like I didn't matter.
Did
to
people
me.
hate on it or no?
I don't think so. I mean, if you're
Okay.
if you're playing and you're good, like right.
Okay, so
that's the thing.
But if you suck, they're gonna talk shit about it.
Oh, hell yeah. Little
You're
Jimmy's
gotcha.
out there missing the ball by 3 feet every time because he's high as shit. Yeah, there's
Suck
issues.
less. Yeah,
Little
exactly.
Jimmy, get on the bench, bro.
But if you're returning kickoffs for touchdowns, they don't care.
Yeah, they're like, all right, yeah, smoke some more.
I mean, some kids that would take shots before games too,
It-
just to calm down and relax.
that kind of makes sense. We've actually had,
Nerves and stuff. That kind of makes sense.
Yeah.
It does make sense. I mean, I was just curious because like I didn't play a lot of team
Those
sports,
kids
but
are
I always
good.
wondered if like people like didn't like when you smoked weed because you're like fucking up the team or something.
I honestly don't remember a lot of kids that were getting high when I played.
minuscule, but like
Well, it was
I'm thinking
super different
baseball.
now.
Football,
I feel like
a lot of
nowadays you're
kids.
gonna have
baseball,
tons of
not so many.
access is
More
different
football.
too, though. You know, I mean, it was like shit weed.
yeah, we had Reggie's.
I
back in
didn't
the
smoke
day.
weed till after high school, so like that's my. Big
Y'all don't even know about Reggie's.
We know about some brick weed, but I'm sure it was some trash back then.
Oof. And droughts.
What's some of the worst weed? you
Droughts. I
smoked?
know.
Droughts? You remember droughts?
Yeah,
Have
you
you ever
couldn't find
experienced
it.
a
You couldn't
drought?
find weed.
Yeah.
yeah, I know.
Yeah.
No
and then
one
all of a sudden
had
that
weed.
brickweed's like 200 an ounce.
And it's like, fuck it,
I'm buying it.
I'll take a half.
Yeah.
Whole thing because I ain't going on
It's
another
weeds,
drought.
weed.
I used to have like a whole strategy for like getting all the seeds out of it. You put it on like an angle and then you lift it up and lift it up and lift it up. And
Oh my god, do you remember like
the
smoking a
seeds would roll
seed and it
down.
would pop? You remember the taste of a seed?
Yeah, you still get random seeds every once in a while, but
Yeah, but not like before.
no, you get.
Do you remember
full-
that pick out the seeds and stems? You literally had to pick out the
Yep.
stems. Like here, I had 38 stems in this gram. Like you know what I mean?
Sometimes that shit weighed more than the actual
I know.
flower
Yeah,
you
that's what I'm
got.
trying to say. Like,
Yeah.
yeah, the nug would be like, oh, cool, awesome.
You're like, I got 2 grams of.
That's when you'd wrap
stems
in a
and then
blunt.
2 grams of flour.
You'd wrap in a blunt just
I'm
to
on a-
save the taste.
I'm on a hand scale trying to eyeball it.
A hand scale. Okay, now you're before me.
Yeah. Yeah, welcome. Archaic.
Archaic.
Then
Well,
I'd ring you up on an
Analog
abacus.
scales.
Yep.
Jeez.
You kids have it so easy.
Oh god, relax.
well, dude, it's like it now. Like anyone that goes to dispo now, like after us, is like, well, they never had to buy it on the street. They never had to get a dealer. They
Dude,
never had to wait for
my
it. They
little
literally
sister-
just walk into a shop and go, I'll take that vape cart, that edible, and that. And you're like, huh?
My little sister has like never had it, would never have to do that. She's like, you know, it's just mind blowing because that's all
Yeah.
I did for years.
There's gonna be kids who never smoked flower in their life.
I think we're already getting
Carts.
there, especially with vapes
Yeah.
being so popular right now.
That's
Well,
so
and dude,
disheartening.
Shoot, imagine! I can't imagine you doing these vapes every day. Well, what was that? What was that?
It was like an old man. Like,
Oh,
fist
like
at the
man, old man yells at cloud. Yeah, I know that meme.
These damn kids not smoking the Willie Nelson way.
take it back to the flower.
I don't know. I mean, listen, it's funny we used to talk about that but I love dabs, so it's like who am I to like say like moderate? It's like I love rosin, man. Like
I feel like vapes.
I
would
know
take
hash
over
has been around forever, but like straight up
before dabs.
what?
Vapes would be like taken over before dabs. I think more people smoke vapes
Dab,
than
I
they
just
actually dab.
I don't know. Well, you're right though. There's something to that with the vapes. Like people love
Just literally
vaping.
go. You're on the go.
It's huge right now. It's huge. It's easy transition. Can't imagine that's
No
good
vapes
for your
for you?
lungs.
Yeah.
It's too early. I don't know enough about it.
Well, that's what I'm trying
So
to say.
true.
I
So
don't know
true.
enough about it.
Imagine you're vaping in your sports. You can do that. Can't be good for you though.
I don't know.
I'd rather just stick to Reginald Flower.
I'm not saying it's good. I'm not saying it's bad. I'm saying I don't know.
He's saying 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Yeah. I'm saying this has been around for thousands of years. Kind of got an evolutionary read on it.
That's fair. That's fair. That's fair.
Yeah.
I know what it does. You grind it up, you light it on fire, you know? As long as there's not a lot of...
Kind of how it was designed to work.
It's a beautiful thing, right?
roll
Beautiful.
the joint,
it's
you're
the
good to
best.
go.
It's just changed so much the perspective on cannabis. So it's like when I think about how it's different looked in the media versus how it's looked at like sports. Like, and that, why we always talk about sports being so big is if sports can normalize cannabis, that's such a huge market. You know how many people watch sports in the world? Like a lot of
Billions.
motherfuckers. A lot of motherfuckers.
Billions.
Dude, the
Especially
NFL...
if you get soccer to support it.
Oh my God. Game over.
Yeah, that's...
Game over.
Football
But
here
here
in
in the
America,
States,
soccer.
I think, exactly. That's what I was going to say. NBA, if the NFL follows suits and NHL, and then we get soccer, like it's the amount of like normalization that you get. Is it hot? Yeah, apologies.
No, you're good.
It's just
aimed
hot
it
in
that
this
way.
room. I'm still waiting on my air conditioning candidate. But he has an old one. The studio needs it. But
Yeah, we do. I'm like sweating.
I'm dying a little bit. But on the inside. But no, dude, like you said, if you can normalize the sports like the NFL and soccer, like the world perspective on cannabis, I feel like would honestly shift. You know, music obviously hasn't done it because weed and music have always been together. Like, you've never not been to a concert and
Right.
smoked weed, but
Yeah, no.
not many times have I been to a sporting event and just smelled like amounts of weed. I'm sure there'll be a joint here and there, but it's not like a concert where it's just like,
Yeah, I don't think that'll ever happen either.
Sports and the... I think I agree. I think vaping, you'll see the vaping going on.
Yeah, cigarettes kind of
Yeah,
ruined
what's
that
that?
party early.
what do you mean?
Any time of like any outside
drinking.
smoke and stuff, I don't think they'll ever allow it.
Oh, I see. Yeah, but vaping, like you said, that's a fair point.
Yeah, vaping potentially.
It's like the new thing, man. I
Yeah.
can't deny it.
I mean, I'll vape in an arena.
I've hit a vape here and there. Like
Yeah.
I like, there's a couple carts. Like I especially like you said, time and place. Like I'll bring them, right? But like, it's not like my first go-to. It's not like I prefer vaping. Like there's people out there that prefer vaping.
I just don't ever feel like I get blown out off vaping.
Well, it's like this new phase on like grape, apple. Like it's just flavored stuff.
I feel like a
That
flower
gets you
high
high.
just takes you to here.
Yeah.
There's no flavor. There's no like real cannabis nowadays. There's just like
Well, it's all those... A lot of it's botanical
some.
terms.
There are some.
A lot. Where it's like peach.
Peach.
But...
Have you guys seen the Mario movie?
No, I haven't seen it yet. Is it
No,
great?
I wanna see
I
it.
heard it's great.
Oh, amazing.
Yeah.
Jack
can't
Black.
wait.
Preachers, 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 preachers.
Oh, I heard the song.
Oh,
I
it's
heard the song.
amazing.
You kind of sounded just like
Jack
it's actually
Black
listen
plays
to it.
Bowser, and it sounds hilarious.
Preachers,
It
preachers.
was out of the movie theater when I went. I finally went to the movie for the movie theater in the first time in like 6 months. It felt
Oh,
so
that means it'll
different.
be on demand soon.
I missed it. I haven't been doing that. No, I was another movie. You think it'll be on demand?
yeah, if it's
You
got
can
a
already
few.
buy it. Yeah, I bought it at my place.
Oh, nice. Okay, I'll probably rent it then. You probably rent it. Hopefully,
Yep.
Oh, I thought you were saying like Netflix is about to
Buy
have it.
it.
I'm like,
It's
no, you
worth,
guys-
it's worth buying.
worth buying.
If you're a Mario fan, it's worth buying.
Well, I wanted to see it in the theater, and I missed my op.
Preachers.
That song was like trending on like
As it should.
yeah,
As it should.
like on one of the Billboard hits list.
I'm not
like-
surprised.
That's crazy.
Smash.
Smash.
Number one.
That's great. I got a couple other athletes, top athletes that have used cannabis. Usain Bolt, fastest man on earth.
Yeah, it's from Jamaica.
Yeah, like literally the fastest human being ever.
Couple MMA artists, Nate Diaz and Nick Diaz. They
The
used it.
Diaz brother.
Yeah,
the-
they both
yeah,
used
they're
it.
trailer park dudes, man. Like they grew up smoking weed out of pop cans.
But I believe now
They're-
in
they're
Vegas,
kind of
though,
athletes?
they've gotten rid of it. They've gotten rid of testing, haven't they? Now in MMA, now officially, I think that just happened.
I'm surprised if they ever were. Honestly.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
They shouldn't. Like,
No, I don't think Dana White would ever give a shit about that.
What?
But again,
This
but
one-
again, healing, it's such a good thing. Like eating some edibles or something, like rather than going to drink a bunch of booze or take a bunch of prescriptions, these people can just eat like an edible,
Yeah.
200 milligram edible, and go to sleep. Like, dude, they get their ass beat for a living, literally.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
Crazy.
and it's an
crazy
individual
job.
sport, and it's
Crazy job.
It's literally the opposite of a steroid.
I always think about like the day a fighter wakes up. You know, they like it's a set date for the fight. Like you're leading up to this date, and you know sometimes you wake up and you feel like shit. Sometimes you get a headache. Sometimes your like stomach hurts. You know,
Oh, yeah.
sometimes you just don't want to get out of bed that day. Like They cannot just like be like, nah, I'm not going into work today. If
Right,
they're
yeah.
feeling like shit, they gotta go
still
fight.
going in
there.
They're going to fight.
If your fight's July
Do your
5th, you're
job.
there no matter
They're
what.
fighting July 5th. Like, even if you wake up with like
Can't call in.
hemorrhoids
Can't call
bursting, like
Oh, no.
you gotta go fight.
That's your payday.
You gotta go fight for your life because this guy's gonna try to kill you.
Yeah.
Well, I mean,
Wild existence. To
Yeah, I
me.
know.
Like it blows my mind. The guys that can get themselves mentally ready for that.
That sport is not for me.
Like,
I'd get my ass kicked and chewed up. In and out in 2 seconds.
I've been in plenty of like bar squabbles and stuff, but they're impromptu. You know, they're out of nowhere.
Right.
Like I'm not training for them.
Training, getting ready for a specific date and time. Like,
Yeah.
all right, let's go.
Right.
Fight time. Let's
Right.
do it.
I gotta fight today.
Oh,
and
shit's
yeah,
wild.
dude, it's either now or never with that. Like that's what you do. That's what you do for a living.
Dude, you do. This player, man, had his career ruined pretty much. Josh Gordon. He had a talented receiver, but suspended for cannabis. Like,
Yeah, the cannabis was part of it. He's also a shithead.
but he did. He was decent for like a year.
Oh,
could have been
not
better.
knocking his talent.
I think it's interesting as you talk about these players, depending on when they got caught. When they get caught being a smoker, then it like changes how they're perceived, right? That makes sense.
Well, they also do other shit too, though. That could go.
Well,
with it.
right.
But yeah, I mean, back when you were first getting caught with it, like when Ricky Williams quit, I mean, people were hating on him. Guaranteed, probably in their
Oh,
whatever
yeah.
it was like
Yeah.
there was a slander against him, and then he comes back
Because the
still
social norm was
crushes it.
that's what it was normal to do. Now it's like it's becoming more like, oh, I know someone that cannabis helps. You know, it's like your aunt or your grandma or someone random now where you're like, you smoke, you're taking edibles. Like, I don't know.
Yeah.
Dude, I mean, we see it all the time now. We see family members now eating edibles or partaking in cannabis. Like, it's great to see it because the stigma's breaking down. Hopefully, we continue to see that trend happening because, like, if we see more sports, more leagues allowing advertisement, like, say, if you could have Weed Maps advertise or Leafly, these huge places, or a multi-state operator, like, you know, that would be huge. Like, imagine on a basketball jersey how they got, like, Nike and shit. It's like, my can of cast, no. For the Pistons.
Hey, man,
Let's
dream
go.
We
big.
need
Put
some.
it on a board.
Hey, man, we got great.
That's right.
partners,
That's
but
right.
we-
Put it
we
on
need
the
some.
board.
Put it on the board. Put it on your goals.
Let's go.
I'm actually going to put that on my goals. Actually, like that. My can of cast on the Pistons jersey. Let's go.
Wow.
There you go.
I like it.
That'd be sweet. That'd be sweet.
But yeah, dude, that amount of normalization, like that would be crazy. Like I don't
It's
know, man.
coming, man. It's coming. I mean,
I just think if it comes to sports,
Mm-hmm.
it'll come to this attachment in your brain where it's like, you know how sports is good. People like sports. It's good. You know, you're gonna connect weed with good, right? Like I literally think it's that simple sometimes with people. Because if they don't really care, sometimes they just pick a side and then that's what they stand for.
Yep.
They don't even use the product, right? And people I know that have never tried weed were like, I don't like it, not for me. But I didn't smoke it. Like, well,
Not until you understand.
word. Like,
You have experience with it. If you don't ever try it or have experience with it, you're just going to sit on the one side that you've been leaning towards, was been told to you. Like, if it's told to you bad, like you said, you're going to look at it as bad. But truthfully, it isn't. It is not.
Bobby Westside said weed and sports go hand in hand.
Yep. 100%.
it's been that way.
You got any other athletes off top of mind that have used cannabis that are pretty good?
I mean, like locally for the Pistons, you know, Rasheed Wallace was a notorious pothead.
Oh, come on.
Uncle Spliff,
You
Cliff
could tell.
Robinson, rest in peace.
Oh, yeah.
Like those guys. I mean, Cliff looked like he played high all the time. Like his eyes, he had those cat eyes, you know, just like that.
Looking back, yeah.
Yeah, and his nickname was Uncle Spliff too. So
That helps.
yeah,
And then
Like
Sheed.
it's a
Baldo
small-
lie.
yeah, she
Dude,
was
Sheed
busted in
looks
Portland. Oh yeah, she blazes. But from my understanding, a lot of those guys did on that 04 team.
No shit. And we won that shit.
That's how we got that
Cannot confirm nor
championship.
deny. I'm just saying, from the people I know that knew those people,
I love it.
they were.
That's how we
They
won.
like to smoke.
Smoked our way to victory.
We had great chemistry. Maybe it was the weed, man. Baking out after.
Oh, that's what brought them together. That's the camaraderie of those five. Like
Yeah.
Chauncey is like, this shit's tight. like that's it. Like,
Hey,
did we
Chauncey,
play
pass it
earlier?
over here.
Yeah.
Rip's like, oh, hell
You
yeah.
think he wore the mask while he smoked? Rip. Just
They turned into like a bong mask.
Bobby Westside said
He's only hitting gas masks.
Spreewell had to be high choking his coach. I remember that. I remember seeing that. That's
Spreewell was wild.
yeah. Yes.
You know, like Kobe didn't smoke.
I wouldn't see him smoking.
I don't see Jordan smoking. LeBron, you see LeBron smoking?
No.
Can you imagine hitting a blunt with LeBron? Like,
I'd be mind blown, kind of.
yeah.
Dennis Rodman was like a big sell for me. Like I think he was.
I
think he was doing all the drugs though.
Yeah. I don't think weed was in his radar.
I think he was. No, I think that was there. I think all the
Yeah.
drugs though. I think that was a panel.
Yeah.
I think in the 13 panel pass, he would have passed with flying colors. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I don't think anything passed by him.
He had a good career though. He had a good career.
It's weird though. He's like boys with Kim Jong-un or whatever of North Korea.
Yeah.
He's like an ambassador for the United States because he's like one of the only people that he likes. Like what the hell?
He's one of the best rebounders of all time. You know, that goes a long way in North Korea.
Why?
I don't ask questions. Just accept reality the way it is.
Facts, dude.
Dennis Rodman's the best.
Oh man, a lot of football players I bet still are using cannabis.
Oh, 100%.
I think. What sport would you, if you had to estimate,
Oh, the biggest
uses the most cannabis? Like out of the major sports ones.
I mean, I would say the NFL, but I don't know. I'm leaning NBA.
That's kind of I'm like
Just
NBA
because of the culture
NFL.
of the NBA.
Well, and they already like changed their rules, so they like saw the issue. They're like, "Hey guys, like,
Even previously, because like there are a lot of like older NBA players when they come out, they're like, oh yeah, like I was saying earlier, they're like, yeah, consume cannabis before every game or after every game.
Yeah.
And I would say maybe I'd probably go.
Someone said hockey's got to smoke, or Bobby Westside said hockey's got to smoke hella bud.
I mean, be on the ice all day, getting hit in the wall. All the
That's
time.
what I feel like all sports people. How do you not smoke weed after years and years of abuse? Because your muscles gotta hurt. Like I'm only just hitting my. I just got in my 30s. I couldn't imagine being 40, like still getting my ass hit.
Right.
You come on, man, phrasing. You know what I mean? Like like
Yeah.
these. How old are these
me
sports
neither.
players? Like 38. Like how old these people get?
Yeah.
Some of them get 38, 40, 30. I mean, NFL running backs only last like 28 years old. I mean, that's short-lived career, and it's a lot of money too.
Yeah. It's a lot of weed.
Yeah, that's what I'd be smoking. I mean, because you hear a lot of them that when they come out, they're pushing the pharmaceuticals and they're getting addicted to the pills, and then how bad it is for the body, and then like it doesn't do as much recovery later down the line.
Are there any
recovering the muscles?
Are there any sports that don't do testing?
Yeah, the NBA.
No, I mean, besides like the big team sports, like, is there any like? I know we talked about the
Olympics
MMA
tests. I know
Olympics
that.
test is like.
That's never gonna go away.
Because
Someone brought up golf. Does golf test? Like, do you test for?
I don't know.
Like,
I'm not
do
sure.
they
with
even
the PGA.
care? Like, I don't.
I'm sure the PGA does. They're uppity enough.
Yeah, right. I just think about all these other sports though. Like, think about all the like outside sports and not normal sports. Like, do they care? Like boxing?
Wrestling?
Just boxing?
I
Boxing's
think so.
huge. There's like billions of dollars in boxing, but I don't know anything about that.
Soccer tests, I think.
I feel like soccer would.
Yeah, it says they can be tested for weed.
See what I
PGA.
mean? It's interesting. I wonder if it's more of like if we suspect something,
If you
we
look
kind of keep our
stoned,
mouth shut.
yeah.
Yeah.
This is if we want to be dicks.
Right.
Anyone coming back from the Live League?
I just always wondered if there's any sports already out there being like, nah, we've been cool forever. We just didn't know.
If there was, I
The
don't
tour
know.
notes that marijuana is illegal under federal law and in most other countries. Involvement with illegal substances goes against the spirit of our sport, their policy says.
Golf.
So pretty much they're saying all drugs, but they're not gonna like test you.
Yeah, they're nice about it.
XFL don't give a fuck. Okay, well,
Yeah,
now we're
fuck
getting out
no,
there.
they're smoking on the field.
ESPN, the Ocho.
See a guy roll.
They were turning shit with blunts in their mouth.
Liv bought out the PGA Tour.
No, they didn't. They merged.
Yeah.
What?
PGA bought Live back
Yeah.
because Live was based
You
from.
talking about weed brand Liv? Like Liv Cannabis?
I was talking about Live Golf. Sorry.
No, I don't know. I just saw someone said Liv bought out PGA Tour. So
Yeah, I don't know if they're the same. Is Live Cannabis owned by a bunch of Saudi Arabians?
I don't know anything about Liv Cannabis.
I
Come
don't
on
think
by
so.
it.
I don't know. I don't think so.
I only went there on like the grand opening because I knew someone working there, and I was like not super pumped, so I just never went back.
I know they. If they're talking about the golf league, yeah, they merged.
I'm assuming
They were
because I
separate.
know there was a big drama about that. That like no one was like someone was like don't take the money, and then some big golfer was saying, "Don't take those a Tiger." Or someone was saying, "No, don't take this money. Don't take this money." And
they were
then the
offering
PGA took the money.
and millions
Well, that's
and
what's funny is then the
millions.
PGA took the money anyway. So it's like you just
This
missed
year,
out on
yeah.
millions because you should have just taken it.
Well, because they lost a lot of players through the years, or through the year, I should say, that went to that tournament. Because once they went there, the PGA didn't allow them back on tour.
I'm gonna take a dab. Anyone wants to take a dab with me out there?
What are you dabbing?
What? Oh,
What are you dabbing?
the Apex stuff. Shout out next week's episode. Shout out Apex Grape Cream Cake Rosin. They won Legacy hash competition that I played a couple weeks ago on the West Side
Heading the
State. It was
Clouds.
Heading the Clouds. Yep. Wow, numbers high. Heady is it was a fun festival. It was a hash festival.
All hash.
They won
Hash rosin?
best.
All
What is it?
hash.
Full melt. Full
a
melt.
lot, yeah, so much, yeah.
It's crazy.
Dude, like
It's wild.
hash
They had like
holes,
30 hash
grams
holes.
of hash, eighths of hash, different flavors of hash.
Yeah, man. The festivals on
melt.
the west side, so they're like old school like weed festivals. People just got like bags of bud, and you're just like buying it. It's like flower, rosin. People just growing.
Nice.
So, jiu-jitsu, no doubt. Every gi smells like weed.
Yeah.
Well, dude, again, like it all
guys
comes
are
down to
beasts.
healing. It comes down to healing.
You
Like,
climb, you rock climb or climb.
Yeah, well,
climb or
dude,
smoke.
every well, okay, that's a lie. Because some climbers are like super like, healthy, one with the earth, like very healthy people, very natural people. But yeah, I definitely say it a lot would smoke weed. I've smoked weed with a few. Can't say all of them do.
Skateboarders.
Oh come on,
Skateboarders.
that's like
The whole X Games, you can just kind of check off
That's
the
good.
list.
That's
Yeah,
good.
like, come
there
on.
we go. I like that.
The Winter Olympics.
how about surfing? I'm just kidding.
Yeah.
It's like you have to be high.
dude,
Right.
If you don't have weed in your system, you can't play.
I saw Dubai's having the biggest wave pool created for like insane amount. It was like huge,
Why?
Dubai's so weird.
right? And
Well,
then
it's just the middle of a desert. You
They
got
just keep-
billions of dollars.
Yeah, they just keep
billions and
spraying
billions
sand
of
into the fucking ocean and making land.
and now they're building pool giant.
Right. They're just creating this like world. It's weird. It's cool.
And if you smoke
Money.
weed,
They
you
have
can't.
money.
You don't
You
You
can
not.
get
do
anything
not-
oil
done.
money, though.
Anything done.
Well, when you have
You
billions.
want a fucking
of
wave
it.
pool in the desert? Got you.
I don't know how. Yeah,
I
how
saw
much do
it,
you
it
think it
looks
costs
sick.
to import water to Dubai, though? It's
Doesn't
gotta
matter.
be silly. No, I know.
it doesn't matter. They're
They're
like,
gonna move the ocean.
right.
People sell the ocean.
Yeah. Yeah, I'll sell you a star. Lots of shit. Yeah, Dubai is wild.
Don't be caught with cannabis there though. Not good.
You don't fuck around internationally.
No.
Like, I mean,
No, man. I think that's why we would have issues with soccer being okay with weed, because now you're allowing how many. I don't know.
yeah. I mean, some countries take this shit
It's different when it's.
to the next level.
I mean, look what happened to Brittany Griner in Russia with a little vape pen.
Can't fuck around.
Yeah.
Well, actually, it's so crazy to see Thailand being so cool with weed because they were like whipping people in public for under an ounce.
They cane
And
the
now-
shit out of people in
And
Thailand.
now, and now it's open. Like, now
Beat
you can
that
just,
ass
now you can
publicly.
get weed and a hooker like legally now.
What a-
Thailand,
what a
Thailand,
country.
What a country.
innovative.
America, step your game up. No.
Whoa.
Yeah, that is one thing. Like my buddy just got busted in Mexico with a bunch of edibles. And he was telling me the story. It's just like I got so comfortable with them.
Like
we
traveling?
we didn't even rip the labels off anything. It was just like this in their fucking suitcase. It's in the
They
ingredients.
just forgot about it. They just threw it on there.
They're just so used to having it on them in the car, traveling with it in the purse or whatever. So they just threw a bunch in the suitcase and like didn't even think twice about it.
Oh shit.
Yeah, they had to pay like $5,000 to get out of it.
Damn. Is it all done though after that? Or
Yeah,
shit?
yeah.
Oh, okay. Cool.
They're like, here you go.
That sucks.
You're
that
out.
sucks.
Yep.
But I think you're right though. I don't think you can. You should travel with cannabis.
No,
or
don't fuck around.
Yeah.
Don't do it.
The only thing I've
you
ever
can always
heard-
find weed everywhere you go.
Facts.
Everywhere. I've been like all over Europe, all over the Caribbean, Mexico, all over the United States. There's always a guy that you can find weed from. Oh,
Yeah, I think the only thing that
Oh,
I've ever,
you can
the only
always
thing
find
I've
some.
ever
Switzerland?
understand is
Got you.
people flying with these carts and shit, because it's like, how would you know the difference? And it smells the exact same. Like,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? Like that's the type of shit where I'm like, why can't you fly
talk
with
to a
those?
local
Like,
bartender. Like talk to the doorman at your hotel. That's what they're there for.
yeah,
Oh,
well, it's
good
funny.
tip.
Look, think about
Man,
it.
that's
Like,
good tip
we
for
all
tri-
know where we
Travel
used to
tips.
Yeah, travel tips. I like.
buy a split stick.
Yeah.
That's good because we always talk. People have actually asked us like,
sticks, tips.
Yeah, they're not gonna kick you out.
No,
Just spending money.
If they don't have they're just gonna tell you no.
So like,
what's the worst of it?
I mean, it's just like it's like for us, I think it's a little more comfortable, right? Because we used to buy weed when it was illegal, so we knew how to be like, yo, you know,
Right.
you know, you don't have to like say it, but like nowadays, it's like, can I take an eighth of Hindu Kush, please?
Right.
Like it's like, do you have carts?
No,
You know what I
the
mean?
60-40 blend. Thank you.
Yeah. Do you have a sativa vape cart, please? Disposable.
Times are changing. I mean, we're spoiled here in Michigan.
Oh,
I mean, you can grow 12 plants. You can carry a certain amount. Whatever you crop at your house legally, you can keep pretty much. I mean, you can go to the dispo and you have a wall full of product, just everything.
And affordable now.
Yeah.
Dispo prices are like
They were up there for a
they
while.
went from being like, what the? Why would I? What do I? Did you put it in a fancy jar?
Well, that's what I think they realized. They're like, well, if it's legal and it's tested, they'll pay more for it. And they're like, no, we won't. It's like
$5 for the
right for the same
America.
eighth you're buying from the dude from the street.
we got some commerce to worry about.
Times just continue changing. I think that's what's going to continue to happen as cannabis legalization happens in more states. I think it with
Well,
the
dude, we're
sports,
almost
it's gonna go.
halfway. When we're halfway in the states where they're legal, or like 30 states deep, we're gonna look at the federal government and be like, the
Right.
fuck, like deschedule it
Any
at
day
least.
now. Any
I don't
day now.
care if it's like we always say like legalization. If you jump to legalization, too many states are gonna be like, we're not ready, you know. But if you get to just decriminalize it and let like save bank and all these other little things, like just letting people like regulate weed a little bit better, like legally and businessy wise, like.
In time.
Fuck that in time shit. Just change it, man. It's so silly, you know. It's just like God.
You doing any?
Well, like they can take tax money from it, but we can't like let people smoke weed while they play a sport. Like, come on, man. Like,
No, it's ridiculous.
it's silly.
You doing any softball this summer?
Softball, volleyball, and golf. It's been a
Right.
summer of.
So do you
sports.
smoke before all that?
That's
I
facts.
do.
Do you smoke?
I do.
You get that performance enhancing that softball?
Yeah, I hit 400-foot bombs.
I figured. I figured it enhanced you, cheater.
You pretty busy then. Damn. Volleyball too.
Yeah, volleyball.
So wait a second. You smoke weed when you play sports, right? I'm
do.
sure nowadays I would smoke, but I haven't played sports in a while, to be honest. But when I go snowboarding, like
I think it
I'm
helps me
gonna
when
light-
I'm golfing
I'm gonna
for
light
sure.
up.
Really?
Yeah,
I don't know how to
Focus.
not smoke weed while you're
focus. For,
snowboarding.
like just slow down and just like get out there and not think so fast and hit the ball.
I like to smoke weed on the slopes a little bit and just like chill. You know what I mean? I'm not doing like flips and shit, mind you.
On snowboard.
Well, I'm trying to relate here. I was like, this is the sport I do.
But I also don't get like blown the hell
And when I
out.
climb, I do smoke when I
Yeah.
climb, but not hella lit. Yeah, like you said, I do like to, especially when I put my headphones in and I'm just bouldering by myself, man. Like, that's the shit. I like it.
A nice little buzz, subtle buzz.
Yeah,
Like, we smoked when we went, I brought him bouldering. I got him to climb some rocks out in Vegas.
Yeah, that's
Look at
pretty
you.
cool.
And people would probably be like, why would you smoke weed while you're climbing? Because, like, you know, you might get more paranoid. But I like it. Like, I think it adds to the focus and
Yeah, I
adrenaline.
didn't even think about that. Yeah, it's like 15 feet, right?
15, 20 feet, something.
I was impressed
You did
with
pretty
myself.
good.
I was like, whoa.
all
It was
right.
funny. We met some random person. He's like, nah, man, I can't do it the whole day. He's like, I don't know, man. I don't know. Some person was like, you can do it. He's like, bet. I'm like, literally, just that's all it took is someone else was saying you can do it. And he was like, you know what? I could do it.
Welcome to having a girlfriend.
But he did slay it, though. They
Tell him
did
so
climb
many
it.
times a random ass person will be like, "You're beautiful." Oh, really?
Just it's nice. Brighten
Right.
people's days.
Yeah.
You give people hope.
Yeah. Motivated Dave.
Yeah.
15 feet.
Yeah.
For Dave, that's pretty crazy.
Yeah, and I'm afraid of heights, so I was like, oh shit.
Yeah.
How'd
Yeah,
you get- how'd you get down?
in the pet
Slowly.
Yeah.
the pad's
The
about
slope.
this thick. When you go to the gym, it's like a giant, you know, you got these giant pads, like super safe, you know. But like out in nature, not as safe.
Dude, that trip, dude. We almost got stranded in the desert.
Oh yeah.
We got
he wants
we
to tell
picked
us
up a high we Ubered out there, lost service. First off,
Oh,
Uber
God.
didn't have a car. And we're carrying the pad with us. And I literally have my thumb out as we're walking. Like it's starting to get dark. Like we stayed late. It's getting dark out, you know, middle of the desert, temperature.
I didn't think that's how I would die in Vegas. You know, I thought maybe getting robbed, getting shot. I'm like, cool. We're in like the suburbs, gonna die.
That panic sets
Not even
in.
suburbs. We're just in the desert with some random like rich people houses that people build houses out there because they're all fenced. They're all like, So I was like, worst case scenario, we're jumping someone's property. But yeah, we stuck our thumbs out. Some random surfers from like Finland that happened to be in for like one day and just couldn't get back from California or something. It was we got so lucky. And they literally just dropped us off right where we needed to. Like we were like, just drop us off in the city. We get service and we'll order a cab. They're like, no, we got you. Like totally nice guys. Like
saved us. It was a little wild.
We were so pissed because we had no joints on us. We're like, damn, we should have gave him Wade.
No joints. We didn't take a photo.
Yeah, at least you kept your head.
We were more focused on not dying. That's what his ex at the time was like. Like, yeah, like I'm glad you didn't die. It's like you're staying on the phone with me.
Yeah, because as I got service, I got.
What's up, Jimmy Trees? What's up, Daddy Groves?
That was wild. That thinking of the bouldering reminded me of that experience.
Yeah,
so I'm definitely getting high before that. But
how do you? I don't know, man. I love smoking weed and it makes me enjoy some shit because it slows it down, has a little more fun. When you're just playing for fun, like I understand competitively, maybe you don't want to be high at the moment, but recovery, it's like when I'm doing it at my own house, it's like.
I feel like I golfed like shit today because I didn't smoke. I've been smoking all summer.
Wow, that's funny.
Yeah.
well, it looks like next week you better smoke.
Yes, Saturday.
Oh shit, Saturday.
Yeah.
That's like a study high.
Yeah.
Get high scores.
Yeah. That's right. The low scores. You want low scores.
Well, it's like the movie. I was quoting the movie. I can't change the quote.
This is golf.
I've never golfed. I've only done the driving range.
Driving range is fun.
He said he was going to take me golfing like 6 years ago, him and my other buddy. So, but here I am.
All right.
You know what I mean?
Let's go.
Good for
All right,
it.
let's do it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll still
Go to
waiting.
Pontiac Country Club.
Yeah, there is a golf place like right here. Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you have to be a part of it, or can you just play?
You can just play.
Okay, cool.
It's not a great course, but they don't expect people to play great there, so you're fine.
Why? What's wrong with that course?
I mean, nothing's wrong with it, but it's not like good.
I've never golfed, so you're like,
Just the way the grass.
the grass is
What's the
grass.
difference between a good house and a bad house? I mean, nothing like
The lawn,
they're both made of wood, but the siding's a little bit better and the flooring's a little bit better. And
Got
the,
you,
know,
got you. I feel you. I feel you.
you can live in
what
both.
makes a better golf course than another golf course?
That's how well maintained the grass is.
How much they give a shit.
Yeah.
How much they spend on things too. You know?
Yeah.
Water in the green.
Water in
taking
the
care
green.
of probably what the chips
Repairing
are.
divots.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
Tee
Divots.
boxes,
The sand raking there.
the fringe, the rough.
I like golf, man. It's fun. I haven't golfed actually in years though. The years just keep rolling.
Dave's
by.
a hell of a softball player.
Is he?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, dude, he was really good at baseball when we were kids. But then he was like, I'm gonna play track instead.
No football.
Or run track, football.
I
Wait,
did
which
track,
sport
I did
was
track,
it?
it was track.
I thought you did both.
I did. I should have just did baseball.
Yeah.
And just one regret.
When did you play? Was it for the
Regrets.
TCG?
Yeah.
TCG
Yeah.
team? Yeah.
Yeah, dude. I was covering the outfield. I smoked. I got baked before every game. So lit.
You feel it affected your performance?
Sometimes maybe.
Apparently you still
Sometimes
crushed
maybe
it.
good.
I feel like Dave not smoking weed at this point though, he'd be more frustrated that he wasn't high the whole time. So he would just be in his head like, God damn it, I'm not even. I should have smoked before this the whole time. And he's like, oh yeah. I mean, he would be too distracted from not being high. No, I don't know.
Probably right. No, probably right. I like getting high.
Jimmy Trees.
You got anything else you want to talk about cannabis with sports before we get out of here? I mean, it's been a fun episode. Kicking
Yeah.
it, having you on, man.
Yeah, hell yeah.
No, man.
Always
no,
good to be on.
No. Honestly,
I mean-
just kind of been winging it because, like, to be honest, like, sports and cannabis is still new to me because it's still like okay, like it's always been around. Like it's like saying like weed hasn't been at every like event. Like there's always people smoking weed. There's always athletes smoking weed. It's just people shut the fuck up about it.
When do you think we'll have all sports allowing?
Within all of the next collective bargaining agreements, I don't know when those are for each specific sport, but that's when they change.
Okay.
Could be 4 years, could be 5, depends on.
That's how the NBA did it.
Yeah,
They
that's
did
how
it.
it's got to be done. They're
Oh
not
right,
just
because it
gonna
has to be
change it.
addressed everything. They're not going to do just a meeting just for that. Like,
Yeah.
that's too much money.
Yeah,
much
unless shit
time.
just gets like crazy out of control where everybody's smoking weed, like going
On the
nuts, and they're
court,
like, "We gotta
yeah.
amend this right now."
We got the whole league suspended right now.
Right. Sorry, the replacements. Keanu Reeves is here at quarterback.
I'd watch it. I mean, yeah.
It's a movie. Go
I'd
watch
watch
it.
anything with Keanu Reeves.
Gene Hackman is this coach. Go ahead.
Isn't he like Shane Falco? No.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Shane Falco. You can buy a Falco jersey.
No.
Yeah,
Can you
yeah.
Wow, the replacements.
Yeah.
it's
Here we
actually
go. Throwback.
that's a funny movie.
I was trying to remember. I was like, have I seen that? I'm like, yeah, a long time ago.
Yeah,
It's horribly good.
It's a good way to put it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It is.
There's a lot
So I would
of
say
really
probably by 2030, probably within 7 years, I think all leagues will probably be
That's fair.
not suspending players or fining players for cannabis test results.
Well, it's silly. It's silly, especially in the States. But then it's like, how do you write bylaws where, like, hey, if it's legal in your state, you're good. Like, can't do that. It's either all or nothing, right? And like you said, it's going to have to be all when they're changing laws.
Yeah, they can
bylaws
just choose not to test.
Mm-hmm.
I think it could be.
I feel like they're kind of not.
It could be like
already.
Amsterdam. You know, it's not legal. It's just
I'd like to know. It'd be
True.
great to have a player on and know how regular.
decriminalize it.
I'd love to know
Yeah.
how regularly they test.
Not doing like the spontaneous.
Yeah. All they gotta do is stop testing for it. They don't have to give the green light. All right.
Pull it off. Yeah, we're not going to test for that anymore.
Right.
I just wonder if it's regular. Like, I wonder if they regularly get tested as is, or if it's more like, hey, you look stoned. Come here, I gotta have you piss
I
in a cup.
honestly think it's like if you fuck up or they know something that's going on,
That's
they're
what's
gonna
happening.
target your ass and be like, all right, gotcha.
Yeah.
Get back in line. You want this paycheck?
Or if you're like a great player and you have a great game, they're like, in football, it's always like, oh, why'd I get a random drug test after I scored 3 TDs this week?
Right.
Because you killed it.
It's like, come on, what the
What's up,
heck?
trans dissidents? Dubs. What's up, fam?
Yeah, what's going on, everybody? Appreciate everyone tuning in. We have a new episode dropping tomorrow at 4:20. We reviewed the El Blunto from the High Times Cup.
Ooh.
Well, not so good, man.
Ooh.
And then we discussed a lot of cannabis news that's happening here in Michigan. We have a lot of stuff popping off. So check that out. 420 will be live this Saturday at 9 a.m. Eastern time for our Wake and Bake as usual. We took last Saturday off. As Friday was my birthday, so we took the Saturday off.
Happy belated.
Thank you, fam.
Yeah, we were up pretty late. And
Yeah.
got pretty shitty. So it was
Yeah.
great.
Yeah. And then
We were smoking at hash holes like crazy. We started off with an eighth of flour and a gram of rosin inside the center of it, and that was the starting.
I
Of
think
the
we
joint.
need to smoke you on a hash roll. I mean, we can do it off air, but I think you need to smoke a hash roll.
All right.
Well, stay tuned because that's what we're about to do. It sounds like that's what I like to see. So, all right, well,
You got anything else you want to mention before we head off, man?
yeah.
No, that's
Stick
it.
radio.
Just it seems to be the culture thing to go with sports is marijuana. It's the next up. I think they're even moving on to shrooms.
They should.
Helping the mental state. So we'll find
I'm
out.
done the phisical man.
Time will tell.
Yes, sir.
Tom will tell. I appreciate you coming on.
Yeah,
we'll
thanks for
bring you
having
on
me.
again. Hopefully not within 2 years, a lot sooner this time.
Yeah, make it at least annual.
Yeah, exactly. Just come on, blaze some blondes, talk some cannabis and everything.
Always blunts with steak.
Yeah.
Yep, blondes with stick.
That's
So.
what I was weaned on, boys.
And as always, we're here to advocate
Educate.
and inspire. Till next time, y'all.
Peace.